The Children of the Foldlight. Traverse log, phase null. Echo layer 1. Harmonic unknown. Location Sarin Hollow, subspace archipelago. The Keeper.
It begins, as all things do, with a silence that isn't empty. We had drifted into Sarin Hollow on the breath of a dying harmonic. A faded pulse, weak but persistent, slipped across the wanderer's weave lattice like a trembling hand asking not to be forgotten. The hollow itself was uncharted, though in fairness, many things that don't want to be found often are. I remember asking aloud, "Do we remember them, or have they remembered us?" The captain didn't answer immediately. That's how I knew he felt it too. The wanderer slowed, not from caution, but reverence. You could feel it in the way she exhaled between pulses, in how her resonance dulled to a hush. This was no ordinary region of drift. This was memory space, and something was humming in the dark, waiting. I stepped into the archive chamber, our point of attunement, and opened the harmonic field to listen, not for words, not for signals, but for longing. And that's when I heard them. Children, not young by any biological standard, but children by the aching shape of their desire. Some lost, some left, some erased, but all of them waiting, a waiting so profound it had sculpted a reality of its own. They weren't ghosts. They weren't echoes. They were still here, held in the folds of some ancient mnemonic weave, like songs trapped inside an instrument that no longer knew how to play itself.
"You felt them too,"
he said. "I did," I replied. "They remember something we don't." He nodded slowly, then reached for his coat, not the official one, but the soft, worn one with the patch from the Moon of Pelin stitched inside the collar. He only wore that when he expected sorrow.
"Let's go meet the forgotten."
The wanderer adjusted course without being told. I could feel her choosing a path not by logic or stellar charts, but by grief. We were no longer travelers or rescuers or emissaries. We were witnesses. And the hollow began to unfold. Still, we listen even when no one is speaking. Still, we remember the things we were never told. Still, we traverse.
Chapter 2. Where the Hollow Sang Back.
Traverse log, phase null, echo layer. 2. Harmonic distortion. 3.1. Location, the listening veil, entry threshold. The first sound was not a cry. It was laughter, soft, staggered, then swallowed, as if someone had tried to remember how. We breached the listening veil just as the light bent away from itself. The stars thinned, then shimmered into nothing, and for a moment I thought we had passed into unbeing. But the wanderer held us, pulsed gently beneath our feet. She knew this place, or remembered something adjacent to it. The laughter came again, this time closer. "Echo drift?" I asked. The captain checked his weave console, frowning in a way that said the console had no intention of being helpful.
"It's not bounce, it's not artificial."
I turned slowly. "Then it's alive." And it was. Forms began to take shape at the edge of the wanderer's veil. Not boarding parties, not threats, just silhouettes, light-bound sketches, flickering like candle flame memories drawn in crayon and loss. One of them stepped forward, hand outstretched, not with menace but with wonder, as though we were the myth, not they.
"You came,"
she said. Her voice bypassed language entirely, landing directly in the part of me that still believed in bedtime stories. "We're here to listen," I whispered.
"Then remember,"
she said.
"that's all we asked. That's all we ever asked."
She vanished, but not in fear, in trust. And then came the others. Children, yes, but not bound to flesh. These were beings made from possibility denied, souls suspended in pause. Beings that had once started to become, then were quietly forgotten by the universes that bore them. Some had been erased in war, others by timeline edits, planetary collapses, broken dreams, parental choices, errors in code. They weren't dead, they were unmade, but something had refused to let them vanish entirely. The wanderer's lights dimmed in empathy. She hummed in a chord I hadn't heard since the passing of Solvi, a mourning tone, a welcoming tone, a note for lost things that still dared to ring. The captain removed his boots, stepped forward onto the threshold. I followed. "You're not afraid?" I asked. He shook his head.
You can't fear what remembers your name.
We moved deeper into the hollow, and as we did, the very space began to sing, not in words, but in half-built lullabies, lullabies no one had ever finished, each note a question.
Will you leave us too? Will you remember what wasn't? Will you stay long enough to sing us whole?
The captain whispered a phrase, one I hadn't heard in a long time.
Let's give them the story they never got.
And the wanderer opened her harmonic core and began to listen. Still, we float in echoes not our own. Still, we reach into stories half-dreamed. Still, we traverse.
Chapter 3. What was left in the unbecoming.
Traverse log, phase null. Echo layer 3, harmonic drift unlocked. Location, core hollow, beneath the remembering light.
I didn't expect the color. It shimmered beneath our feet like breath, hollow auroras lacing through the black, threads of never-born dreams spun into something radiant. There were no walls, no ceilings, just a kind of inverted vastness, as if we had stepped inside a memory trying to remember itself. And within it, the children. They didn't run or hide. They weren't spectral or tragic, not in the way grief prefers. They played, tag with time, hopscotch across abandoned timelines. They braided realities like hair. One had stars for freckles. Another painted gravity into spirals with her hands. A third floated upside down, narrating everything we said before we said it, giggling at her own accuracy.
This isn't what I expected.
The keeper whispered beside me. What did you expect? He tilted his head.
Emptiness, wailing, cold. I watched a boy riding a harmonic loop like a swing, casting echoes of color that turned into birds.
They're not sad, I said.
No,
The keeper replied.
they're waiting. We stepped further into the hollow's heart. A sound followed us, faint at first, then rising, like a chorus trying to find its key. The children were drawing something into shape. An object, a memory, a vessel. The girl with star freckles approached.
Do you know what it is yet?
She asked.
What is? I asked.
What you're here for.
She said matter-of-factly.
You're the ones who hum between, right?
I suppose we are,
I said.
though lately we've been more drifting than humming.
She beamed as only a never-born can.
That's why we called you. You're unfinished, like us.
The keeper met my gaze. No words exchanged. Just a recognition. The weight of being, almost.
What happens if we remember you? I asked.
Her smile faltered but didn't fade.
Then we become. Not what we were meant to be. Just something else. Something new.
Behind her, the colors were converging into a form, a cocoon, number A cradle. The children gathered, without ceremony, without demand, just need, hope shaped like light. I stepped forward, laid a hand on the forming structure. It pulsed with half-names, potential, and lullabies no one had dared finish. They're not just memories, I whispered.
They're the blueprint.
The keeper said. For what? He looked around.
For what the universe could have loved, but didn't. The girl nodded solemnly.
That's why we called you.
And then she handed me something, a sphere of light the size of a teardrop, but heavier than history. What is it? I asked.
Our story.
But it's unfinished, and they whispered.
Finish it for us.
The cradle hummed, and we were no longer visitors. We were keepers of the unbecome. Still, we fear the memory we have yet to make. Still, we speak carefully to silence. Still, we traverse.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of The Children.